Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, community programming on Life TV, and community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9.
Welcome to the City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda.
And thanks for joining us for the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, along with your City Manager for the City of Oshkosh, Mark Roloff. Mark, thanks for being here today.
Great to be here, Andy.
Well, we have a busy show today, and we'll start with some municipal news updates. And in the second half of the show, we'll talk about some agenda highlights from the upcoming Tuesday, December 14th Common Council meeting. So I know that recently we had an announcement from our police department that they have received some national accreditation. That's kind of a big deal.
It is. This is not the first time. We've actually been accredited since 1994, but the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, also known as CALEA, awarded our police department and reaffirmed it on November 23rd. So we are nationally accredited. What that means is that our police department meets specific professional standards and uses best practices in law enforcement, that we are operating under the highest standards in public safety. And while that may seem, oh, well, what's the big deal about that? Well, for us in Wisconsin, we're the only municipal law enforcement agency in the entire state of Wisconsin that's nationally accredited by CALEA. There are a lot of police departments, including ours, that have some state accreditation, but we hold ourselves up to the highest standards that are set on a national level. So typically when we get questions about, we should be doing this or we should be doing that, generally the answer is we already do it because under CALEA, they want us to have very high standards. And all of the outreach video that you just saw are just examples of things that we do, but it's everything from hiring practices to training to standards that we have regarding use of force, use of cameras. All those things are factored in, and we meet that bar and exceed that bar in so many levels. And I think it can give our community some peace of mind knowing that we have a police department that is so committed to these high standards. And we've had it since 1994, so this isn't just something with current Chief Smith, who was very attracted to our community with that accreditation. So It really shows you what this means out in the law enforcement community.
Well, it's excellent news, and we congratulate the Oshkosh Police Department on that accreditation. Also, recently, Mark, we've had some new folks join the city of Oshkosh, and among them, we have a new city clerk that is soon to join us.
Right. Our city clerk, Pam Ubrig. Pam's worked for us for over 40 years, the last 23 years as our city clerk. And Pam will be retiring right after the first of the year. So we found her replacement right amongst our ranks, Jessie Balcom. She currently is a management analyst in our city's utility division. She's been with us since 2019, but she has a great deal of municipal experience, about 15 years in municipal government. Most recently, prior to coming to us, she was with the Village of Slinger. She was actually the village administrator, so a position very similar to my own. And she was previously with the Village of Elm Grove as an assistant to the village manager as well as zoning and planning administrator. She's got a great deal of experience and will be adding city clerk duties to what she does. And for those of you who kind of wonder, what does the city clerk's office do? Well, a lot of you may be familiar with city clerk's office because they run our municipal elections, but they also issue city licenses, liquor licenses, things like that you hear about. And then the city clerk's office is also responsible for maintaining the legislative records for our common council. So if you want to know any action dating back to 1853, city's clerk's office is generally going to be the place you're going to find those records. So Ms. Balcom will be taking the mantle from Ms. Pam Ubrig, and we salute Pam for all her work and looking forward to working with Jessie and running the city clerk's office.
And overall, Pam was with the city for 41 years. That's remarkable.
Yeah, it is. We've had a number of retirements this year. This is our third department head who we're replacing, and I think we've been very fortunate. through a little bit of succession planning as well as great recruitment, we've been able to attract people to come to Oshkosh and take over for some great department heads. So I feel very good about the future with the people we replace this year, and I think Jesse's going to be a great successor to Pam and the legacy of public service that she leaves.
Mm-hmm. And Jesse and Sarah Phillips, the new Oshkosh Public Museum Director, will be introduced at the beginning of the council meeting.
Yeah, we announced Sarah Phillips as our new museum director a few months ago, but she only just started last week, so we're going to have 2 introductions going on Tuesday.
Okay, very good. All right, another kind of interesting new program that the Oshkosh Fire Department is starting off now is a campaign called Mugs for Rugs, and we have some props here that you can kind of show us, Mark.
Shameless promotion. I had to keep this off screen because it was so visible with its bright red. Whatever fire department does, they do a lot with red. But a little known fact that 20% of all of our EMS calls, our emergency medical service calls, are from falls. And so the fire department's been working closely with a lot of community partners on what can we do to eliminate or reduce the number of falls, because it's amazing what happens when somebody has their first fall, so to speak. It really starts a spiral. So what we're trying to do is prevent that. And one of the things is, I know a lot of people love their rugs in their kitchens and bathrooms and bedrooms, but they can serve as a very big hazard. So
it's a hazard, yeah.
It's a hazard. So what this is all about is if you take this mug, or if you take your mat to one of the participating coffee shops, and there are several of them shown there on the screen, you will get this bright red mug that will stand out in a dark room probably, and you can take it back to any of these participating coffee shops, and they will fill your coffee for free. So
that's great.
That's how serious we are. So think about all of these local businesses that have committed to say, we care so much about fall prevention, we will give coffee away to people who bring this mug in. Want to thank the folks at 4Imprint who put the mugs together, as well as the Ladies Benevolent Society of Oshkosh, who partnered with 4Imprint and the fire department to produce these mugs. So it's a great way to promote fall prevention. I believe it's going to start next week, the week of the 13th of December.
Correct. That's correct.
Bring in your mat, you'll get one of these mugs and free coffee for quite a while. So here are the partners with the different places. I don't want to do that big of a commercial, but I want to thank them, because without their participation, this wouldn't be happening. So thanks to all local businesses that participated in this. So support your local businesses, because they're sure supporting us.
And the Oshkosh Senior Center is also one of those locations where folks can drop off a mug for a rug.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about their coffee policy, but there's some neat coffee shops on this list, so check them out.
Absolutely. And then speaking of the fire department, so they are continuing their food and toy drive that is on various routes through the community.
They sure are. There's a list of all of the food and toy drive that we've already done, but we've got a few dates left. But residents can find the routes and the maps on the fire department food and toy drive Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. But donations, looking for non-perishable food items, new and unwrapped gifts, wrapping paper, tape, and cash donations are also accepted. These donations will go to the Salvation Army and distributed through their distribution program. So this is really a partnership with Salvation Army. The monetary donations will be given to the Firefighters Charitable Trust and the Gary Kasubi scholarship program. So the routes start at 5 p.m., so it'll be dark, but you'll hear the sirens and everything. Don't worry, just look outside and you'll see an army of firefighters, their families, community partners, and just run to your cupboard, grab a few canned goods, or if you're planning and have some toys, bring those in. But it's a wonderful thing that our fire department steps up to do at this time of the year, and thanks everybody for the donations that they make with this program.
And a side note too, that folks don't necessarily have to be along the route where these happen. They can stop by one of the fire stations and drop off their gifts and things anytime.
Yeah, any of our fire stations. That's a great point, Andy.
Okay, all right. Well, we have some other winter activities that are underway in our City of Oshkosh parks, and one of the ones that is kind of a spectacular is the celebration of lights.
Well, yeah, Celebration of Lights at Menomonee Park is going to be open nightly through January 1st. And you got a little tidbit of recognition that Celebration of Light got, didn't you?
Right. The Travel and Leisure magazine has recognized the best Christmas light displays in every state. And Wisconsin, the Celebration of Lights is the best Christmas light display in the state of Wisconsin, according to Travel and Leisure.
And I've seen some good ones around the state, so that's pretty high praise. And if you haven't been there, bring your kids, or just if you're a kid at heart, bring yourself. You can get an admission discount if you donate a hygiene item, soap, toothpaste, things like that, because there is a little bit of that element to it. We're trying to do things that the Celebration Lights Committee starts up. You can tune to 101.9 Oshkosh FM for holiday music while you enjoy the displays, and we're really excited about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been ongoing for several years, and it's bigger and better every year. Well, another Parks Department activity that's coming up, they're planning on, once again, having an ice rink.
Over at Rowe Park, we're going to do that again. I want to thank the Oshkosh Community Foundation for arranging all of that. Now, of course, I got to give the disclaimer, it's all dependent on the weather. So I suggest you check the Parks Department's Facebook page for updates. We'll let you know when it's up and running and things like that. And we've got community groups that will make ice skates available on some occasions. So it's a great family type of activity, but it's always dependent on the weather. So check our Facebook page.
Right. And Oshkosh Media Facebook will also keep you updated on those things. We'll pass that along to you as well. Speaking of winter, there are some other winter things happening. The Winter Farmers Market, and Go Transit is helping out by providing some transportation to that.
Yeah, the Farmers Market winter version starts on December 11th, and it's going to operate between the hours of 9 a.m. to 12:30. It's December 11th, and then in January 8th, February 5th and 12th, March 12th, April 9th and 16th. We tweak our Route 8 a little bit so it goes right by the Oshkosh Arena, so it's very convenient if you want to take Go Transit for that. So we'll get you there and take you home, and we're very excited to be partnering with the farmers market to get people to go there. So we hope you'll take advantage of it, and Go Transit route information is at ridegotransit.com. So check it out, and hopefully you'll be able to enjoy the farmers market.
That's right. Enjoy the farmers market now that we have a winter farmers market. Okay. Another item that's a little closer to home here in Oshkosh Media is that Oshkosh Media Gov TV is now available on Spectrum Cable in the cities of Neenah and Menasha, and this is a collaboration with those local governments. Yeah,
the cities of Neenah and Menasha were looking for a new place where they could hold their council meetings. They tape their council meetings just like we do, but they had no channel to put it on. So our folks at Oshkosh Media did a great job. Jake, yourself, to enable Neenah Menasha residents to not only get their own council meetings, but the whole range of all the GovTV programming we have, including Winnebago County,
the county board
that is their county as well. So I think it's going to be a great addition, but it's a collaboration that we did, and it's making government more accessible, and that's what this is all about. And we're going to, we'll still do all of our programming and everything we do, but we're giving them a few time slots, which is great because that helps fill our GovTV time slot. But if you enjoy watching the council meeting in Oshkosh, you can do a little comparison and watch what's going on in Neenah and Menasha, as well as our school board and our county board, as well as so many of the boards and commissions that we cover right here in Oshkosh.
That's right, and we'll, as you mentioned, we'll continue to produce our Oshkosh Media programming, but the meetings that are produced by Neenah and Menasha, those will be sent to us and then replayed on the channel. And GovTV is seen in Neenah Menasha on Channel 2 on Spectrum.
So we're happy to welcome them to to Oshkosh Gov TV, and hopefully they'll enjoy our programming as well.
Right. Thanks for joining us if you're up in Menomonee. All right, in the city of Oshkosh, we have our property tax bills that are being mailed out on December 10th, I believe.
Not exactly something everybody's looking forward to.
Not a fun thing.
But, a couple things it's important to let people know. First of all, be on the lookout for them, because if you have any tax reason from a federal standpoint to get it paid by December 31, you want to get it paid promptly. But also, just to be on the lookout for it. And one of the things we want to point out is that, there's many options to pay your bills. You can do it by mail. You can use our City Hall drop box, OshkoshBillPay.com. You can do it in person at the lobby of Community First Credit Union locations, Associated Banks, or right here at City Hall. Our website has all that information that you can do. But we always get a lot of questions because the tax bill's mailed by us, right, but we collect the property taxes for all the governmental entities.
Where does the money go?
Yeah, where does the money go? Well, as this little graphic shows, the city of Oshkosh itself only gets 40% of the entire tax bill. And you can see the distribution that goes to the other entities. We collect it, and then it gets redistributed to these other entities. But this is where a lot of people misunderstand it. And certainly, we have to take responsibility for the 40%. So where does that go? This is an example. If you have a house that's valued at $150,000, the city cost, that 40% portion, is about $145 a month. And this shows you where all of it goes. So if you ask yourself, what kind of value do you get? This is the monthly allocation for, debt service is our largest part. Those are our big street projects and things like that. But police, fire, public works, you can see all the different services that you get and what it costs you per month. I can tell you there are a lot of places where, for example, garbage collection, there are people paying $20, $25 a month for garbage collection. Garbage collection in Oshkosh, $4.83. I think we represent some great value. You may not always agree with that, and you're absolutely entitled to that. But we think that you understanding where your property tax dollars go is very important. So we want to show that right here and get everybody to understand it. So look for the tax bill in the mail, and hopefully you understand a little bit better of where your tax dollars are used.
Well, thanks for that background information, Mark. It's always good to know, where the dollars go. Just a reminder too that we have some holiday hours coming up. It's that time of year, so there are some different seasonal hours coming up.
There sure are, and there's so many. We got them in a graphic because otherwise I might lose track of these things. Our yard waste drop-off center is going to be closed December 23rd and 24th, along with City Hall, as well as December 31st. December 31st is our January 1st holiday because Christmas and New Year's are both on a Saturday. So just recognize we're going to be closed Thursday and Friday before Christmas. Public libraries going to be closed 24th and 25th of December, as well as December 31st and January 1st. And then our public museum is going to be closed the 23rd through the 27th, as well as the 31st of December, as well as January 1st. Go Transit, a little simpler, just no bus service on Christmas or New Year's Day. So we've got all that information out there that we'll be pushing through social media and stuff. So just be aware that we're going to be closed for a lot of the holidays, and as usual, but with Christmas and New Year's being on a Saturday, it makes it a little different this year.
Right. So just keep an eye out for those service updates, and we'll remind those again through social media, as Mark mentioned. Also, Mark, COVID, we're masking up again, continuing through maybe through January. Yeah,
because of the numbers are continuing to climb. We're in the very high category. I think we're dangerously close to being critically high. So I've made the difficult decision again in order for public health and safety to have the masks in city-operated buildings through January 31st now, and I'll be announcing that to council as well next week. So again, encourage people to go to get vaccines and you can check that out. Winnebago County has a website, wcvaccine.org. So check all those things out. We still give free transportation to vaccination appointments through Go Transit. So please be aware of those things. We want people to be safe.
Okay, absolutely. All right, Mark, thanks for those updates. And that wraps up the first half of the show. Please stay with us for some agenda highlights from the upcoming Tuesday, December 14th Common Council meeting. You're watching the City Manager's Report.
White Christmas has enchanted viewers since its release 67 years ago. Memorable music numbers, a talented cast, a feel-good story, and an iconic title song have made this film a holiday classic. Visit the White Christmas exhibit at the Oshkosh Public Museum now through January 23rd for a glimpse behind the scenes of this classic Hollywood film. The White Christmas exhibit features costumes, props, photos, posters, and more. Visit OshkoshMuseum.org to purchase tickets. White Christmas at the Oshkosh Public Museum now through January 23rd.
And welcome back to the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig along with City Manager Mark Roloff. Let's take a look at some agenda highlights from the upcoming December 14th Common Council meeting. And that meeting will start off with a workshop meeting at 5 o'clock p.m. about accessibility audit for Oshkosh public buildings and facilities. That will be carried live also at 5 o'clock p.m. Immediately before the Common Council meeting. And then on the agenda for the meeting, there's an item, Mark, for hazmat response services. It's an agreement along with Winnebago County.
Yeah, the City of Oshkosh Fire Department is one of the regional fire departments that provides hazardous materials response services, hazmat services. The state gives us some equipment and some training money, and in return, when there is a hazmat response in our region or actually anywhere throughout the state, our folks roll and respond to these hazmat sites. So we're very proud of the training and knowledge that we have. I think this can give everybody a great deal of comfort knowing that our folks are ready to respond both here and throughout the region.
Mm-hmm. All right. And another collaboration there with Winnebago County. Then we have another item, several items actually, relating to capital improvements and some other things, kind of some pre-planning here. Does this relate somewhat to special assessments?
Well, it does, but we've got several capital projects planned. One of the parts of the process is we do notify people about special assessments, the potential for special assessments. Council is looking at an alternative to special assessments, but that hasn't been adopted yet, so we still have to go through the process. But I wanted to run real quickly through some of the projects that are going to be going on this year. The first one is probably the biggest one, is going to be Algoma Boulevard through the university along with Vine Avenue and High Avenue, and that's going to be a big project that's going to be taking place next year through the university area. And then in addition to that, East Lincoln Avenue, it's just west of North Main Street to the railroad tracks. That's going to be one of those areas that's also going to get some street improvements, as well as Rosalia Street. That actually has a big water main on Rosalia. It doesn't look like a big deal because it's a small street, but small street, big water main, so a lot of street work there.
Sure.
And then Bowen Street from Murdoch to Anchorage Court, just to the north, some new sewer pipe going to be laid there, and the streets are going to go there. And then finally, year 5 of 6 of South Oregon Street. This is going to be from Waukah Avenue down to 35th Avenue. So we'll still be doing that next year. So a lot of projects going on, and we'll be talking about these as we do bidding and things like that. But we want to give people a heads up that those are the ones to expect for next year.
We have a lot of projects coming up, and we'll keep folks updated on those as well. And then we have an item, it looks like we have a professional services agreement, and this relates to some former landfill locations.
These are landfills that, because they are in the city and some municipal waste at some point went to these landfills, even though we didn't own them at the time, local units of government are responsible for them. These are 3 different quarries that existed along the Knapp Street corridor, just immediately north and east of Jacob Shapiro School. One of our parks is called Quarry Park because it used to be a quarry. These 3 areas, because of that, because they're former landfills, they generate a dangerous level of methane that we need to monitor and actually expunge the methane out of the ground to make it safe so it doesn't explode. So we have a professional services agreement to keep an eye on that, and we do this annually. So you might see some little pipes that are coming out of the ground. That's to extract the methane and get it out of the ground so it doesn't create a dangerous situation. So we mention that because a lot of people don't realize that those grassy areas, they look so nice and neat, but there's a concern that we have, and we want to keep it safe for everybody in the neighborhood.
Right. Okay. Well, very good. Then we also have another item coming up on the agenda to set the stormwater utility rates.
Yeah, this represents a $6 increase, so about $1.50 every quarter, or about 40 to 50 cents a month on your utility bill. Stormwater utility takes care of all those projects that are meant to control flooding as well as control pollution that can get into our stormwaters. A lot of people don't realize our stormwater does not go through a treatment plant. It goes through maybe some ponds, and that's about it. So the purpose of our utility is to cover those costs, and unfortunately, these rates need to be revisited every once in a while.
Okay. And then under our new resolutions, we have some items relating to the Lakeshore Park Four Seasons building and looking at some funding sources for that.
Well, yeah, the Four Seasons building is something that was proposed when we converted Lakeshore Golf Course into Lakeshore Park. These are some great renderings that we did. But unfortunately, our timing is not the greatest, and because of shortages in materials and supplies, demand for these things, we have to come up with an extra $1.4, $1.5 million in funding. So we presented this to council a few weeks back. They still wanted to proceed with this project. We do have some proceeds left over from the sale of the portion of Lakeshore Golf Course that we sold to Oshkosh Corporation, but that's not enough to cover this because of the cost increases. So we've got some projects proposing to either postpone or put off for a while. And then we actually had some savings on some other projects in that immediate area along Oshkosh Avenue that we're going to use to fund this, and some other suggestions we're going to make because council feels very strongly that they want that Four-Season building. We don't have something like that in the city, so I think it'll be a great addition to our park system. And so we'll have a funding solution, and then after the funding solution is approved, then we'll go to council and get the bid awarded, and we'll be starting construction probably early spring.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll keep tabs on that one as well. All right, and then we have an item relating to the day-by-day warming shelter, the proposed use there. And I understand this is not the final step in this process.
No, it isn't. But what this is it's called the specific implementation plan. It's the site plan for the site that Day by Day has selected. We are going to be working very closely with them. So you're right. This is just the first step of it. This is at the corner of Broad Street and CP. It's adjacent to some housing authority buildings, as well as adjacent to the railroad tracks. We haven't had a lot of demand for use of that site. We're proposing to eventually purchase the property from the housing authority and then turn it over to Day by Day to construct the building that they are proposing. I know there's still a lot of things that need to get approved. The transfer of the land to the city, and then the Day by Day will be one part. But Day by Day still needs to do some fundraising. We've set aside, subject to council approval still, $1 million in the event they need it. But they're going through fundraising. They're looking at other governmental entities, but we've got $1 million set aside, but it's a $3.5 million project. They've got a lot of fundraising to do. So when they're ready to propose funding from the city, that'll be probably the last step in this process.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll follow that one as well. Well, Mark, I think that's about the time that we have for today's show. Thanks again for your insights.
Always a pleasure.
All right, and thank you for joining us today. Again, the next Common Council meeting is coming up on Tuesday, December 14th at 6 p.m., and that will be held in person at City Hall with the option for remote participation by the public. You can watch it live on GovTV, which is Spectrum Channel 10, UVerse Channel 99, and streaming on YouTube and OshkoshMedia.org. Or you can listen to it on the radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9, which is also online, and on the TuneIn Radio Radio app for phones and tablets. And we just would like to remind you to join us again next week for the City Manager's Report Top 10 of 2021. It's our annual year in review show. So thanks again for watching and happy holidays.